Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is huge, okay? And we have quite a few things to cover today. The first thing is AOC has reportedly sent a letter to the DOJ inquiring if she's under investigation for her comments on guiding migrants on how to evade ICE. And I have the letter right here, okay? And it states, Dear Attorney General Bondi, I write to you to request clarity on whether the Department of DOJ has yielded to political pressure and attempts to weaponize the agency against elected officials whose speech they disagree with. Oh, really? Well, what about you guys censoring everybody else because you don't agree with what they had to say? But I'll go on. Over the past 2 weeks, border czar Tom Homan has gone on multiple forums threatening political prosecution against me, citing resources I distributed informing my constituents and the American public of their constitutional and legal rights. On February 13, 2025, Mr. Homan announced that he had asked Deputy Attorney General to open an investigation and that I will be in trouble now. It has been 14 days since Mr. Homan first threatened to weaponize your agency, but I have not yet heard any referral from the federal government. Homan's actions undercut core constitutional rights and further transparency is necessary. I am sure you are aware of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Oh, I'm sure Pam Bondi is aware, but I don't think you and your constituents are aware. Huh? So it says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the people, right of people peaceably to assemble and the petition the government for a redress of grievances. Indeed, last week, Vice President Vance said that we may disagree with your views, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square. Mr. Homan repeated attempts to use your agency to politically intimidate duly elected officials are a textbook threat to the right to freedom of speech in the United States. Threatening criminal proceedings for exercising the First Amendment is itself a violation of the First Amendment. Educating the public about their rights, especially in a time of rising uncertainty, is a key part of our responsibility as elected officials. A government that uses threats of DOJ investigations to suppress free speech is a threat to all, regardless of political ideology. Please respond no later than March 5th, 2025, with an update on the Department of Justice response to Mr. Homan's request and transparency as to whether my office or myself is actively under investigation for exercising their First Amendment rights and executing on our congressional responsibilities. Sincerely, AOC. Yeah. So the president and Marco Rubio have secured the extradition of 29, that's a lot if you think about it, 29 top cartel leaders from Mexico, and they are to be prosecuted here in the United States. That's a lot if you think about it. I mean, wow. How the hell did they catch all of them? But I'm not even going to question that. That's a lot. Good on them. Great job, guys. All right, so now this next thing that we're going to be talking about Tucker, okay, he calls for Nancy Pelosi to be prosecuted for insider trading. This woman, I don't care. She's benefiting from information that she has because of her position, and everybody knows it. It's a crime. She should be prosecuted, okay? She has outperformed 95% of professional hedge fund managers. She's up 87% since having her stock trades tracked professionally. May of 2021, outperforming the SPY of 50%. In 2024, Nancy was up 54%. The market was up around 26%, roughly. Then she actively trades $40 to $60 million at a time. Who has that kind of cash? Okay? This far exceeds any other Congress reps. Then, when Nancy and Paulie got together, their combined net worth was roughly about 20 mil. It has since skyrocketed to about $260 million, okay? Nancy is worth over $250 million, all right? And it's all from insider trading. Nancy has been questioned many times and adamantly responds, Congress should continue to be allowed to trade stocks. Yeah, you can trade, but not the way that you do it, you dirty bird.
You run Nancy Pelosi's stock tracker. It's incredible.
Pelosi, since we've been tracking her, is up 87%. That's from, I think, around May of 2021, outperforming the SPY by 50%. In that time period, since we've been doing this thing, we now have $300 million literally investing alongside her. People have profited $30 million trading, doing whatever she does in that time period. And her office has never reached out. She's gone on, been questioned in the press conferences being like, do you think you and members of Congress should be allowed to trade stock? And she's like,
should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to this second one.
Yeah, well, it's a free economy. Like, if it's a free market, we as citizens should be able to trade.
But of course, it's not a free market. And her example shows you what a rigged market it is.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, she's benefiting from information that she has because of her position. She's not allowed to do that. She does it anyway. It's a crime. She should be prosecuted. Relative to, like, average investors, informed investors, like, how well has she done?
Yep. In 2024, for example, she was up 54%. The market was up around, I think, like 26 or 27. So she personally outperformed the stock market, the broader S&P by 20%, 25%. We also have these other trackers that track the hedge funds. And there was a report from Bloomberg where she actually outperformed, I think, like 95% of professional hedge funds.
So watch this carefully, okay? Especially the body language on Zelenskyy. Okay, and watch his eyes, because his eyes actually make noise when they roll into the back of his head, just saying.
This thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I
he
was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly
but-
right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president, in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong-
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's
I
respectful
will answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have
gotta,
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What you're-
III.
what you're
You're
speaking
gambling
about.
with
What you're
World
speaking
War
about.
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country,
I'm
that's
with all
backed you
respect to your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
you're speaking
America
about.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
He-
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if,
West
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course,
It's
yes.
going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of
accept
times
that
thank
there,
you
accept
to
that-
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running low
I know.
on soldiers. Listen,
Please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what
That wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was with
wasn't
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia...
And because of his actions, and because of his disrespect, his little tiny honey, literally, okay, he got kicked the out of the White House, okay? And the White House is having press staffers eat his lunch because he was kicked out. Swear on my life. Yep. Ciao, watch this.
Went up to the press area to get an understanding of what we're watching. This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelenskyy out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelenskyy's body language, shrugging and eye-rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful, and the president feels that Zelenskyy is not ready for peace, and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now, and Zelenskyy is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch. This is really pretty incredible. We see the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us one
Zelensky's
moment.
SUV.
If you look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Mr. President, is the deal off? President Zelenskyy, can you tell us what happened?
Zelenskyi on juuri lähdössä valkoiselta talolta. Äsken saimme tietää, että tuon mineraalisopimuksen allekirjoittaminen peruttiin kokonaan ja Zelenskyi juuri astui autoonsa. Sadat toimittajat.
Did you sign the minerals deal? Did you sign the minerals deal?
Why were you so disrespectful to the president?
We may be watching the floor fall through this moment in international relations and diplomacy, or this might be the art of the deal, and we're not going to know for some time. Jackie, it appears that even going into this meeting that this relationship was not great. About a week ago, President Trump called Zelenskyy a dictator. He was asked about that yesterday with the British Prime Minister, and he said, "Did I say that?" Next question. As if he wanted to brush that off and make sure that things today went smoother.
Well, Zelenskyy, we're told, was begging to stay and work this out. The Ukrainians were begging the president and the White House